Do you know any that shoot on Android?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. You are a replacement. Instead of getting a videographer, I want a content creator.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Gimbal Guys podcast. I'm your host, Sam, along with Nick. And today we have a very special guest. Very excited for this one. We have Chrisanta from Married and Social, and she's a content creator. We're going to get to learn all of the ins and outs of content creation, learn a little bit about your business and all these sorts of things. So thanks so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, I am so excited to be here. I'm a little nervous, but I think it'll be fun.
This is
Also, I say the words like and all the time. So if you can just get past that, that'd be great.
Same. I listened to the previous episodes of this and I'm like, I just did it, but I was doing that all the time.
No, same.
Love
fine.
it. So kind of like a little classic, little opener here. Also just cause I want to know, and I don't know too much background about you, but like, what brought you into this space in the first place? Like, just kind of like give me a little bit of background on how you started, how you got into this business, and kind of like how you kind of got to this point that you're at today.
Yeah. So great question. I feel like ever since I was young, I just like really enjoyed capturing moments, and like not so much for social media or to make it go viral or anything, but really just for my own memories. So when I was younger, maybe like middle school, high school, I would always have like a vlog camera and like just vlog certain moments when I go on trips or vacations or holidays and stuff like that. And it's really just for like me to look back on and my friend groups to look back on. But yeah, so I always loved doing that. And then more recently, I think in 2019, I started my food blog. So that's when I really got into content creation with the phone. And yeah, so really 2019, I started my food blog. 2022, I got engaged and then obviously started wedding planning. So all of my social media, like For You page, Instagram, TikToks, became all about wedding planning. And then there was this new thing going around called Wedding Day Content Creators. And like selfishly, I was like looking for myself because I wanted one for my wedding day. And there was none in New England. So I just decided that I should start and see where it goes. But yeah.
There you go.
So would you say you were one of the first in the New England area, at least that you were aware of?
I think so. Like, I hate saying like, oh, I was the first one, because really I don't have a way to fact check that. I do think there were some content creators before me who like dabbled into weddings and like did some weddings, but it wasn't their whole like business purpose or like what they did. But yeah.
Yeah. I think it gets talked about a lot too, because it's so new. And I mean, it's new to weddings, but it's not new in general. Like people have been documenting
Correct.
things on their phones forever. And I feel like it's just following the industry, almost kind of like following the commercial industry a little bit, is like wedding content creation. So when you were kind of like looking for content creators, did it kind of like click in your mind like, hey, this is like a business opportunity sort of thing? Or were you just kind of like, I just want to do this sort of thing? Was it more built out of passion for you, or you kind of like saw an opportunity, I guess, or both?
I think it was a little bit of both, because like I loved doing this. And at that time, like what I was doing for work, I just didn't love doing. And I knew that, that wasn't my full-time like career or passion or what I had in mind for myself. So I just figured that I would try, because there weren't any content creators in the area. And I figured like if I failed, it was just a good learning opportunity, but I'm not investing like thousands of dollars into equipment. So it's like, I might as well try and see where it goes. And if it leads me nowhere, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, It's a cool business to start, because that barrier is kind of like, you just start with the phone and then,
Exactly.
some accessories to kind of help you out on the day. I mean, I guess, so what sort of things did you have to do starting out to kind of like break into the industry in a way? Did you just start shooting things for friends? Did you...
I guess can we first like almost define what is this content creation stuff? Like,
actually,
what is it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So to simplify it, like I guess it's just really having iPhone photos and videos in a quick turnaround time. So, I mean, mostly for weddings, people do it for events as well, but it really just focuses on like the raw, authentic, candid behind the scenes moments of the day. So I tell my couples too, like I try not to pose you guys, like that would be the job of like the photographer. But really just like behind the scenes moments as it happens. And I think like also for me, like I just love going through my phone at the end of like a day that I'm like, I have plans and I'm super busy, and just going back through my camera roll and just seeing the photos and videos so I can relive it instantaneously. And also, I make little montages and collages and I post to my own like stories. So I love doing that. And I know a lot of like girls / people out there love doing that too. So I think it's just fun to do that. But that's what wedding content creation is. It's
Got it.
mostly like photos and videos, unedited, raw. And then of course I do have packages that I edit videos for the couples too.
Would the majority of the ones you do though, are they the raw unedited, or do you do more of the edited ones?
I would say, all of my packages come with an edited, I call it like a highlight reel, so like a montage video. When my first year, so in 2023 when I did this, I found that like a lot more brides wanted specific TikTok videos and like transitions and stuff, which I'm always happy to do. And then I feel like we're kind of transitioning out from that, and not a lot of people want to do any more of those like Beyonce audios and like transitions and things like that. So I feel like now it's kind of more raw and authentic, and they kind of just give me like the creative freedom to make a video out of a certain moment or whatever I think looks good. So
like for the raw stuff, photos specifically, it's not like you're, editing them in Lightroom or Photoshop. It's literally just from your phone straight to them.
Correct. Yes. Sometimes I'll edit it if like I want to use it for the cover of my own like highlight reel and stuff. But for the most part, I give them everything. And I will say I do mostly videos and less photos. So maybe like 80% videos, 20% photos.
I was also going to ask about like what that kind of like split was, because I've seen you doing both. I knew you kind of like had the photo video thing, but I would imagine it's more, I guess, beneficial on the video side of things selfishly, we know that, but
yeah,
like
definitely
looking back that way to kind of like see it real time, kind of how it appeared, I would imagine. Yeah. Right.
And videos just like bring you back to the moment. Not that photos can't, but like, videos, it's movement, it's real time. So it's great. But yeah, definitely I shoot a lot more videos than photos.
Yeah. And you said like people are kind of like trending away from the, I guess, TikTok trends stuff. What percentage of people would you say like still want that? And it's like just slowly going down?
I definitely think it's slowly going down. My first year, definitely, I had the sunglasses trend. I don't know if you guys know that, where everyone wears the same pair of sunglasses. I did that for like almost all my weddings. Everyone wanted that. But now I feel like the past few weddings I've done, nobody wanted to do that. I don't know. Like,
I'm trying to think if I remember you doing any on the one that we worked with last year.
We definitely did.
Okay.
Yep. But our bride specifically, like I think she was a lot more like into social media and and posted a bunch. So there were a few videos that we agreed on beforehand. But yeah, we did some.
When you do that, did they just like send you like a reference video? Like, can we just replicate this essentially?
Yeah, so they can send me like whatever, if they find a video online that they want to make, they can send me that. I also have like my own spreadsheet / like guide of videos that people can choose from too. So I always send them that too and just see if they want to do any. I do just feel like a lot of people don't want to do those anymore, which is fine. And it's honestly less work for me. But yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a trend. Well, a trend and not a trend at the same time that I'm seeing, because people are going away from that, because I think the demand is more in having something that's timeless. Kind of few people say that to me recently. It's like having something that's like quote timeless, and I guess TikTok audios aren't really timeless.
Yeah.
They're not timeless after a week, you know?
Nope. Things just change so fast. So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so I guess for some more context for everybody listening, you know, we've worked with Chrisanta on one wedding, and then we worked with one of your team members on another. So you guys have 3 people at Married and Silver Shore?
Yeah, so it's me and 2 associates right now, and I'm actually currently hiring just because like I feel like the demand is so high. So yeah, I'm just looking to expand my team more. So,
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How many weddings are you guys typically doing in a year? Do you kind of like cap out at a certain number, or you're just kind of like taking as many as you can?
I'm still learning as I go. So I'm really learning that like balance of my own life, especially because like obviously weddings are mostly on the weekends. So I'm learning as I go. My first year of business was very hard. 2023 is when I officially started. My first wedding was January 2023. So that I was by myself. I had no associates, and I was like growing this business. I was also planning my wedding. So I got married in 2023, and we were also moving. So I never lived with my now husband before I got married. So it was just like a big transition period in my life. So it was very hard. I think that first year I did like 19-ish, if I remember correctly. A few like smaller things like welcome parties and bridal showers, but 19. And then last year we did 40 in total, and that was with my whole team. My 2 associates, Amber and Sasha, started, I believe, in July or August. And then this year, as of when I did my recap video for 2024, I think I had 35 weddings this year, but we definitely had a lot more sign up since then. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be so fun.
Do you guys think you're going to kind of like get to a point where you can do you guys do like multiple weddings in a weekend? So like one of you will go one place and then.
Yes,
Okay,
we do.
sweet.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever shoot together as a team, or is it kind of just like you run solo most of the time?
Is there ever a need for 2 content creators?
Because like, I guess the reason I asked that is because for us, we basically require 2 people
Yeah.
on site to capture the weddings we need to do. And so like, we can't afford to do we can't do more than 1 wedding in a day. And we kind of cap out at 2 in a weekend anyway.
Yeah. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
Usually we're pretty much like all solo. I would say when I like first trained them, obviously like they came with me to a wedding.
Sure.
But for the most part, we're solo. I've had a few people request like a second content creator, like a second shooter, I guess you would call it. Those were really for like the more bigger weddings. So I've only done that twice. But yeah, for the most part, we're just running solo. Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome. You kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but when clients are kind of like coming to you and they're like looking for content creation services, like what sorts of things are they saying are like most important to them, and kind of like why they're actually looking for that in the first place? I know a little bit it was kind of like they want to see the raw, authentic side of things. They want things quickly, but like when they come to you, what are they saying are like the most important things?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's basically it. They really just want the day captured as is. Videography is great, but there's obviously a lot of like editing that goes involved. You guys just pick like the very best shots. It's very cinematic, which I mean, I love. At my own wedding, I had all 3, photographer, videographer, and content creator, because I wanted all 3 different products at the end.
And they all are different.
They are so different. Yeah, it's not like a replacement. Oh my God. Sorry, can you repeat that question? I totally forgot.
It was kind of like what sorts of things are couples saying that are important to them when they're like reaching out to you?
Okay, yeah. So definitely just the raw footage and capturing the day as is. So I feel like when I capture it, it's kind of coming from like their friend's perspective or like another bridesmaid's perspective without having their bridesmaid be on the phone 24/7. So I definitely just think it's very like raw and authentic. Nothing is posed. Everything is supernatural. But yeah, they just really treasure that, I guess. And I mean, I do too.
Yeah. You mentioned something that I feel like is such an underrated part of it. It's because I would say like an objection I would assume you guys get is like, my maid of honor can pull out her phone and shoot some things and things like that. then what does that do? That takes that person out of the moment and they're not enjoying your wedding day.
Correct. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like I would hope everyone wants all of their guests to be present,
especially people in the wedding party.
Yeah, especially their bridal party. Like they're there to celebrate the couple, so they shouldn't have to be on their phone. So yeah.
And there's something else you mentioned earlier. We're going into slightly controversial territory.
I know what you're
here.
saying. I was about to say the same thing.
I'm excited for this. Let's bring it.
You were like, all right, it's 3 options. We're not a replacement.
Correct.
Do you think content creation in some senses can replace videography? We have some thoughts on it, and
It's
we've
such
talked
a
about
new
it before.
field
But
that like both videographers and photographers could see it as something that's intimidating to potentially replace them. But yeah, we have our own thoughts, but we'd love to hear what you think.
Yeah, I think in a sense, yes, it could, especially for like, I would say lower budget videographers and like smaller videographers just like starting out. I definitely don't think it's a replacement for photography. I don't think photography can ever really be replaced with phones. But for videography, I definitely think it could be a replacement. A lot of brides or couples that I'm getting, are having to pick either a videographer or a content creator. And so I feel like the content creators that their prices are kind of similar to prices of a smaller videographer, then they can kind of make that distinction between if I want a videographer or a content creator. So in a sense, yes, but I don't think it would ever replace like those huge luxury weddings where they really want like a cinematic like movie at the end of it. Like we could really never do that. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, that
what
was
are your
pretty
thoughts?
Much, that was pretty much our exact.
Yeah.
Okay,
we talked about
great.
this once before, and it was like I see like some people are trying to like beat around the fact they're like, oh yeah, no, it's just 3 options, and I'm like, no, like content creation will be more in demand than some of those lower budget videographers.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way I see it going, because I think those kind of like that set of clientele, they're more just concerned on having something in
Correct.
motion
Captured.
to relive
Yes.
from the day. And if they can just get it all the next day and they can, view it quick and easily on their phone, then boom, they're all set. And then I see kind of like the bigger budget weddings, they have the budget to have the whole team. They can get the stuff the next day, but then they can, wait a couple months and then have their whole kind of like cinematic experience as well.
Yep.
They get the whole gambit. That's what I've been seeing.
Yeah.
And also,
even like talking with my couples, a lot of them just candidly say like, you are a replacement. Instead of getting a videographer, I want a content creator. So, I mean, I think it's pretty true, but yeah.
Yeah. Warning to videographers out there. Chrisanta's coming for you.
No, but not really. No. I play nice.
It's interesting that they will just straight up tell you that though.
Yeah. I mean, I also think like the generation of people now, or just like people who are getting married now, I don't think content creators like cater towards like the older couples getting married. Right. I think it's a lot more, people in their 20s, 30s getting married, who are just like I am, chronically online, chronically on social media, want things fast. Just like I feel like as a society, we're not slowing down. We want everything fast. And that's where like the fast turnaround is great and like beneficial, and kind of like scratches that itch before you get your professional photos and videos back. So, I mean, we want everything fast. We want faster Wi-Fi, fast shipping on Amazon, like everything. So I think people really value that quick turnaround time too. So
that being said, like where do you see, like as a content creator yourself and having those thoughts, where do you see this third option here as a like industry, where it can land in this industry going forward, like the next 5-10 years? Do you think it can rival videography and photography in terms of like importance of a vendor? Because as of right now, it's still a new thing.
Yes.
So it's still, not top of mind.
right.
But do you think it could grow to be this like, no, you have to have one there. Like it's an automatic. You need a content creator.
Yeah. It's hard to say, and obviously I'm pretty biased.
Sure.
So I would say like I can see the potential of it growing. will it ever reach the, I don't want to say like the importance, but
The heights.
the heights of photography and videography, maybe in like several years down the road. It kind of just goes, it kind of is just like based on what the couple is looking for. Because I think you're just comparing like apples and oranges. They're two very different things that you get from a content creator versus a videographer. But I definitely think like content creation is going to be here for a while. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, so it's here to stay.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of plays into a little bit my theory, which is I don't know if this is backed up by any evidence at all, but what I've been seeing is that the wedding industry is going in two different ways at the same time. It's like the bigger weddings are getting bigger and then the smaller weddings are getting smaller, because I think people are realizing that a wedding day, like you can be very intentional with it. And the people who want to go big are like, let me do everything to the nines. And the people who are like, well, I don't really care about spending too much on XYZ, so I'm just going to pare that back and elope and have a small reception at a restaurant sort of thing.
No, I agree with that like wholeheartedly, because I feel like people used to think weddings are very like traditional. This is how it's done. You just get married and that's it. But a lot more people are eloping, having smaller weddings and like just really doing whatever they want and realizing that the traditional big weddings aren't for everyone. So I think that's great. I personally got married with 30 people in Colorado, and it was like the best decision of my life. I don't want the attention that like a bigger wedding brings. So it was great.
Yeah. I saw something too somewhere that I think people are thinking, if you even have the thought of doing the smaller celebration, you should just do that.
Yep.
If that's kind of like lingering in your mind, like, oh, we should just go to like some destination and do something tiny.
Yeah.
Like you should just do that versus trying to do the big wedding that everybody thinks you need to do.
Yeah. I like that. But with that being said, do you guys do any like smaller weddings or like elopements, or is your clientele mostly those like traditional bigger weddings?
It's funny because I feel like I sound hypocritical by saying the wedding industry is going in some of these smaller directions.
Yes.
Because most of the things we shoot are some of those
in the middle.
In the middle. Yeah.
In the middle, a little bit of the more luxury side of ones. But that's because we identify that's the people like we're catering to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
target audience,
those are the people that like connect with us. And as long as, we're all on the same page, then that's good. Like we're not trying to we could shoot elopements and things like that.
I don't think we have shot an elopement. We've shot like some engagements, a couple, but we don't tend to.
Would you guys like be down to, or is that not something that really you think your business is heading that way?
Maybe. So our thing, we're in an interesting situation because we only take a handful of weddings every year.
Okay.
And
so we're not doing like 30 or 50.
Yeah. We're doing 10 to 15.
Yeah.
And so with that, we try to fill out those 10 to 15 with kind of like the best, I guess, quality that we can, and be able to focus the most on each one of those. And so I feel like just elopements hasn't really fit into that for us. It's just based on how our things are structured. Sure, we have the physical ability to shoot the elopements and things like that. But since we only take these limited number of weddings, we do commercial work and things like that. We want the attention that we give those, we want to give it our all,
That makes sense.
And I'm not going to say like flat out, we will never shoot elopements, but so if the opportunity arises that does fit, we'd be open to
a little trip to Hawaii or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I would love to do some destination weddings. It's so fun.
Courthouse
have you shot any destination ones?
No. I mean, it was actually really funny because I think my third or fourth wedding that I ever did was in upstate New York. So I don't know what
destination.
It's destination. Like the couple like graciously paid for like a 2-night stay for me. So that was really nice. But I've never been on like a flight anywhere not out of the state, but
out
like
of the region.
Yeah, out of the region, out of New England for a wedding. But I would love to one day.
Yeah, I think we want to do a few more.
We want to do more. We did one.
Yeah. Where did you guys go?
I went to Texas.
Nice.
Yeah,
How
Dallas.
was it?
It was good. It was a beautiful venue. So
how did that couple find you guys?
They're from here.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, it was a little
Cousin
weird
sort of
situation.
thing.
Like
Yeah.
we knew them through some people, and
Okay.
they just decided to get married down there. We're like,
Okay.
all right, we'll fly out with you.
That's
I mean,
probably how
that's
it ends up-
cool.
That's probably how it ends up starting for most destination people anyway.
Probably.
I'd
Yeah,
imagine. But yeah,
think
I mean,
so.
we have if anybody's listening, it's going to get married in like Mexico or something like that.
Bring us with you.
Yeah. Married in social SeaMount weddings.
Yes, please.
Go to Cabo or something. I love it. I love it. So maybe some destination weddings on the horizon. You were curious about this too, but so you guys do wedding content creation and you have kind of like the food blog stuff. Do you ever take your content creation skills into the like other business side of things? Do you ever do kind of like social media content for restaurants, small businesses, things like that?
I do, but I don't consider that like the way that I want to go, if that kind of makes sense. So as far as like my food blog, like that is kind of just for fun for me. I have like a few opportunities that come that are paid gigs, but most of the time it's like an exchange of like food for content. So I can, but I try not to, because I do think like social media marketing and content creation are two very different things. And I don't want to become a social media manager. Like I actually don't think I would be good at that. So I just try to stick with like content creation and doing it for my business and just for like my own pleasure and for my food blog. But yeah.
Cool. I like that. Because I feel like I probably, if I was in this industry, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, I can like shoot all this extra stuff too. And then I would have been spread in a million different directions.
Right, exactly. Like I definitely do think social media, like marketing and being a social media manager for a brand is really different. There is a part that you have to like create content for, but it's a lot of like posting, engagement, SEO, all of that. And like, to be quite frank, I don't know if I'm good at it. So
I guess aside from like the actual, marketing role, that manager role, would you be open to just doing the content creation part, like the one just capturing it and not having to deal with those other responsibilities? Because that's kind of like what we would do. Like we also would not take on the responsibilities of like a marketing manager for the company itself. All we would do is provide them with like the videos or the photos.
Videos.
Then it's up to them to, distribute it how they want. So would you, I guess, do that? Just provide them with the content, or still your specialty is more just in the weddings?
I want to just remain focused on the weddings. I think I would, but as of right now, I just feel like I don't have enough time for that. I also just like work a normal corporate job too. So I just feel like I have no time for anything, which I feel like most people feel the same way. So maybe one day when I make this like my full-time gig, then I would look into that. But yeah.
I was also going to ask you that if you figured at one point you'd do content creation full time. Not that your boss is listening or anything, but
if he is high.
Like, I'm quitting tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it's heading that way really fast. So with my other job, I work in a dental office. I work Monday through Thursday, so it's actually nice because I get Fridays and Saturday, Sunday off. But I actually just recently had this conversation with him where I told my boss that I am headed in that direction. So starting in May, I'm only working there 3 days a week, and then I think I'm just gonna start dwindling down from there. So
I think that's
exciting.
probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they gave you the opportunity to kind of ease your way out, that's nice of them.
Yeah, he's amazing.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's great. I mean, it's always like, luckily for us, we're in a situation where we didn't really have anything before we got into this industry.
Yeah.
So like the last job I worked was in a grocery store.
Gotcha.
Same with you,
straight out
right?
of college, I just started this.
Did you guys go to college for videography or whatever
Yes,
it's called?
This is my favorite question.
Yes, we did, but
Okay.
it's not worth it,
Gotcha.
in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Like, everything I learned that I actually do today, I learned on my own.
Yes. I mean, I think pretty much college is a scam.
Low key, yes.
Here's what I would have done, because we started our business in like I was still a freshman in college
Okay.
when I started it, and I was kind of like, oh, I gotta finish, just get the degree sort of thing.
Yep.
I'm thinking about it as just like very expensive career insurance. It's kind of like if I ever need to fall back on it, I have a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
But like the film school programs that you get from most colleges are like just geared towards Hollywood, TV, broadcast,
Gotcha.
that sort of thing. And I actually think the program that we did was actually super valuable if you're going to do that. But for creating kind of like marketing content for like businesses, I would have benefited more from like majoring in marketing or majoring in business. I did take some business classes and things like that.
I didn't take a single business or marketing course.
My business classes were the
Gotcha.
most valuable things that I took in college.
I see. So did you guys meet at this college program, or how did you guys meet?
So we met. So we both went to the University of Rhode Island. He's from Rhode Island.
Gotcha.
I'm from up here, but one of my I just wanted an off-campus job while I was there because I lived off campus. So I was like, I need some money.
Yeah.
So I went and just found a job at a local grocery store, just a cashier, and he happened to work there. He was still in high school, so he was working there, and then I was. Thing is, we never talked.
Yeah.
I probably worked there for like a year. Didn't say a single word to each other. And literally on my very, very last day, I was walking out and they were like someone introduced us. They're like, oh, like he's going to the same college next year, like also doing some video stuff. You guys should meet. And I was like, hi, nice to meet you.
Bye.
I gotta go.
You're like, hi, bye.
Exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
Fast forward, we like found each other on Instagram and ended up like shooting something together.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kept shooting since.
Cool.
And
when did you guys actually like make this business? Like, or
The
make it
wedding
official?
stuff?
Yeah.
When was our first wedding? 2020? 2019?
Our first wedding together was in 2022, but we shot weddings separately before
Oh yeah,
that.
I've shot weddings
Gotcha.
since 2019. I guess we didn't shoot till later on.
I think 2021 was my first wedding, but I had been doing like other video stuff before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, 2022 was kind of like where we had we started at the beginning of the year and basically went the full year through weddings. 2023 and then 2024 was like kind of like our biggest year, I guess.
Yeah.
And
I
then
know, it doesn't seem like that long. Like we're saying like 2022. It
feels
like,
way longer.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels like 2022
No, I
was like
agree.
a couple years ago. I feel like I'm doing this forever.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, it's great. And that grocery store job was the last real job I ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Won't ever get a quote real job again.
Yeah. And you
Hopefully.
like this, you guys think you're going to do this for
Oh yeah,
a
definitely.
while, a long time.
Yeah, and like
yeah.
we said off the mics week, we both also do our commercial stuff as
Yeah.
well. That's why we also, like another reason we don't take on, 50 weddings a year, because we're also busy with other types of video work. But yeah, I definitely see this being a long-term thing.
That's great.
Yeah, super super fun. I want to shift a little bit because I don't know if this is something that is as common with content creation. Maybe it is, and maybe I'm just like oblivious to it. But so videography and photography wise, outside of like real weddings, sometimes you get asked to do styled shoots. So sometimes planners are putting on styled shoots with florists, showing off unique designs, showcasing, their capabilities. Have you done any / would you? Is it something that is like super popular in content creation? I haven't really seen much of it, but
I personally haven't done any, but I really want to. I just feel like, unfortunately, all the styled shoots fall on weekdays where I work another job. So I haven't been able to, but I think it's super valuable. And like, I would also, offer if any of my associates wanted to do those styled shoots. I think it's a great way of like training, but also making different types of like videos without the pressure of it being a real wedding. It's just like good practice, and it's nice to be in like a collaborative environment with other wedding vendors as well. So, I mean, I think they're valuable. Have you guys done one?
So I technically have done some, but I was working with the coordinator who put it on.
Gotcha.
I was like shooting kind of behind the scenes for her.
For her, okay.
And I happened to be there, and yeah, I kind of also took part in it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was mostly there for her. But I've been to a couple, so I know how they work and
I see.
what it's like.
Do you like it?
I do, yeah. Like one of our goals this year is to do one,
Yeah.
like officially together.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can find one that we can be a part of.
we
Yeah.
have something potential coming up, and I would love for it to come to fruition, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of is like two main benefits. One is like you get to add something to your portfolio that you probably wouldn't get from a regular wedding day. Obviously, you don't want to be like, this is a real wedding. Like you gotta make sure it's, you can manage people's expectations. But the other thing is you can just like meet vendors you may not have worked with before. I mean, especially like planners is huge for us. And I mean, we kind of are shifting towards talking to planners, both planners and couples, kind of like, I mean, whoever's planning the wedding, but planners as a way to, for them to kind of like refer us to the couple they're planning the wedding for. So do you ever interact with planners, or do you find that you're mostly interacting with kind of like couples directly?
I would say right now it's mostly couples, but I mean, I've had a few. It's usually the bigger weddings, honestly, that there's a planner reaching out and like, doing all the logistics and everything. And it's nice. I love working with planners. There's some great planners out there. It's very hard for couples to do all of this without a planner. So I truly understand the importance of planners. But yeah. And with what you said before, I think styled shoots, it's just like a great networking opportunity as well. Just meeting new people that you wouldn't meet before. So yeah, I agree.
Sweet. Awesome. I have a few fun questions for you.
Okay.
So this should be a good time. Do you have one wedding or project that stands out to you as the most, I guess, fun or just exciting one that you've ever been a part of? Is there something that kind of sticks out?
Yeah, there's this one wedding that comes to mind immediately that I have not posted anything about because we're trying to actually get it published. But I can talk about it. It was at the Boston Public Library and it was beautiful. It was like absolutely gorgeous. And I mean, it was really fun because the day before too, they rented out, I don't know if you guys know Lawn on D in Boston.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
They used to have like the swings that are like circles.
The circle white swings.
Yeah. But they rented out that whole space. And I mean, it was just beautiful. Everything was decorated like to the nines and it was like a huge wedding. But that one was just my favorite. I love the venue. I love the couple. They were so sweet and I hope they get everything they deserve in life.
That would be an awesome place to have a wedding at Lawn on D. Like that would be cool.
Yeah. So they had their welcome party on Lawn on D.
Okay, yeah.
But their wedding was at the Boston Public Library. I just think it was cool because like I go to the library, not like often, but like
I've been there a handful of times.
And it's so cool to see it transform into a wedding space.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's beautiful there.
Yeah.
What about you guys? I want to know.
Top of my head, I would probably say that Dallas wedding was
honestly, I think so.
Just because that venue. So the venue was, at the time, it was kind of shell shocking to us. So inside the bridal suite, there was a pool and there was a Chanel closet.
Wow.
And inside the groom suite, there was
a bowling alley.
Oh my God.
And a basketball
court and a pool table and a ping pong table and
that's crazy.
The bowling alley got me. I was like, what the hell? There's a bowling alley in this house?
That is crazy. I'm actually shocked that the couple ended up getting married.
Groom suite. We got 0 shots of the groom suite, which I was like, oh, we should have got some, but there was so much to shoot.
Yeah. Wait, that is so cool.
And,
was it like what type of venue was it? Was it like a mansion style?
Mansion.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, lots of like ornate details. Florals were done really well. It was also just like a large wedding with lots of people. And it was also like Vietnamese.
It was a
blend,
Vietnamese
so
wedding. It was a multi-day event.
I love that.
So that was pretty crazy. The fact that we flew into that, we filmed speeches at the rehearsal dinner and like all that sort of stuff. So I mean, that sticks out to me. There's probably a few others that like, if I thought really hard, that like
I know now that we're talking about it, like
it's hard to
there's
think
nothing.
Yeah.
My brain is like
there was one.
There's nothing.
It's like nothing flashy, but there was one last year. It was one of our earlier ones. It was like kind of a lake house, or not a lake house, but the venue was on a lake.
Yeah.
And there was like maybe one kind of issue, but for the most part, that was one of the most perfect weddings that I shot. Like almost nothing went wrong.
Yeah.
The couple was great. All the venue staff, amazing, which can be rare.
Yes.
And the shots came out amazing. So it was like just a really great, like perfect day.
Yeah. When things go as planned, it's amazing. And
it's
that's
not
very
expected.
rare. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's very rare in the wedding industry, I feel like. So, yeah.
We had good luck with our 2024 weddings because we got to a point where we're like vetting people properly and getting all the details where we need to be. So like I feel like we had generally good luck with things. It was like rain on a couple of days.
I was about to
like,
say,
what
have
are
you
gonna
had to deal with rain much for weddings?
Yes.
Well, we did.
We got
Yeah, we did actually. We did the wedding. The
yeah.
ceremony ended up being inside.
Oh, wait, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually so funny. So the wedding that we did together was at Owl's Nest,
Yes.
and since then I think I've done like 3 other weddings at Owl's Nest.
Was that your first one?
That was my first
with
one
us?
at Owl's
Okay.
Nest, yes. And then the second wedding, it also rained right before the ceremony started, so we had to be inside. So at that venue, I've never shot a ceremony
Really?
outside. Yeah. Well, I think there's 2 spots, like the
Yeah,
Lakeview
the
and
pavilion.
the Sunset.
Yeah.
And we were at the Lakeview Pavilion.
Right.
So I've never shot a ceremony outside at the Lakeview Pavilion because it always just rains. Yeah.
Sunset one's really nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's a great venue.
Yeah, no, we
one of my
are no
favorites.
strangers to Owl's Nest.
Yeah.
If you like golf, that's the spot.
Yeah. I actually just recently like stayed there.
Oh yeah?
We were going to, I don't even remember. I think it was Sunday River, but we ended up staying there and then getting a lift ticket. And
We might
Going,
actually have to stay there this year because we have
Yeah, we have
back-to-back.
back-to-back ones
Yeah.
at Owl's Nest.
Owl's
it's
Nest.
so nice.
So,
It's
like,
great.
might as well
They
just go to
have
the
like the
place.
heated pool and it's amazing. We were like in the hot tub while it was like snowing and it was just perfect.
Oh, that's cool.
We should make a whole weekend out of it.
Yeah. It's really
vacation. All right, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So we heard a little bit about kind of like some fun weddings. Now the juicy things.
fun. Okay.
Do you have any kind of like wedding horror stories that stick out to you? Obviously, don't name any names
That
or
you're
anything
comfortable
like that.
sharing.
that you're
Yeah,
comfortable
yeah.
sharing, but is there anything that kind of sticks out? Maybe something
Yeah.
interesting that
Yeah.
might have went wrong?
I mean, I will say, so like, obviously when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing with this whole business. And content creation being so new, obviously it ruffled a lot of feathers. But one in particular, so this was the bride who was the first person to ever like officially book me. And I had that conversation with her just saying that, you know, this is very new. I want you to double check with any of your media vendors just to make sure everyone's on the same page. And she did. And I don't think the photographer didn't say no, but didn't give her like the green light. You know, she was like, it's your day. You can do whatever you want. But I knew that she didn't want to have a content creator there. But we ended up booking, like the bride and I are like still friends to this day and she loves me. But before the wedding, at that point, I was trying to like market myself and be on all of these like Facebook groups. Cause I was also planning my own wedding. So I was in a ton of like bride Facebook groups. And there was also like a New England wedding vendor Facebook group. And I saw a post that she made about like me. And I mean, I read it and it was not very nice. So that was probably the only thing. I have a screenshot of it and I can read it out loud if you guys want to hear
If
it.
you have it
Yes,
and you're
please.
willing,
Yeah.
please do.
Yeah. I mean, so like, I don't have a problem with this photographer and like, I think she's great. The wedding ended up being amazing. Nothing went wrong. But she wrote, so I think she was replying to a post that was made about, you know, wedding content creators and what people thought of them. And then she wrote, a bride hired one at an upcoming wedding against my advice, and I'm absolutely dreading it. Honestly, I'm more annoyed at the vendors offering this than at the couple. The couple doesn't know any better initially. They just think it's a cool idea. But the people that are actually charging money to show up at a wedding with an iPhone, even though most photographers have an exclusivity contract, the effing balls on those people. And I don't mean a photographer offering this as an add-on service. I mean a totally separate, unrelated person doing only cell phone shots. So I saw that before I shot the wedding with her. And I was like so anxious leading up to that day.
Yikes.
Yeah.
How did it end up going?
Yeah.
Like, day of relationship with this photographer.
I mean, day of. Okay. So one thing about me is like, I'm such a people pleaser and I need everyone to like me. Like I care so much about what other people think of me, which is a good thing, but it's also going to be my downfall. But knowing that she had this like preconceived notion of me, I was so nice to her, like extra, extra nice. And like it ended up being fine. Like we talked and we were friendly. We got the job done. Yeah. I mean, I hope I changed her mind, but I don't know that for a fact. So.
Man,
The wedding ended up being perfect.
I was like
crazy.
getting antsy listening to that. I was like,
I know.
because you probably like, "Oh, I would love to like just stick it to them sort of thing, but I would have done the same thing. I probably would have just been like,
Yeah.
no, just play nice.
I know. Play
It does
nice.
bring up
Super
a
nice.
good point of like, like threatening the photographers and videographers of having content creators there.
Yeah.
Because sure, we have that in the contract, but isn't it like, because it's different, it's not the same form of media,
It's not the
Yeah.
same.
so it doesn't
agree.
really apply.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But
Yeah.
some people don't see it as that. So
Yeah,
fine.
exclusivity gets hairy when it's like a photographer starts pressing record on their camera that can also shoot video sort of
Right.
thing. That's where it gets hairy. Or if a content creator is showing up with like a DSLR or something
Yes.
like that. Because then
Which-
that kind of defeats the purpose.
which
It's
I know some have. So
kinda interesting.
yeah, it's a fine line. Yeah, I know like, so I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? Because I know some content creators who actually like shoot with a camcorder, or sometimes they have like an actual professional camera. Sometimes they only use it when they don't have, like the couple doesn't hire a videographer. So in that case, like I feel like that's okay maybe. But what do you guys think if a content creator comes like actually recording?
We might have different thoughts, but the truth is, for me personally, I don't care.
Okay.
What I care more about is the person.
Yeah.
Like who I'm working with, who I'm actually like spending time with in the same room, trying to like maneuver with. If they're like super nice, which you were and are, like
you.
super easy to work with, then you could have done whatever you wanted, and I truly wouldn't have cared.
Okay.
Like in terms of like what you were capturing, what tool you were capturing it with, couldn't care less to me.
Okay.
But that's just me. A lot of people might think differently.
Yeah.
You might think differently. I don't know.
What do you
I'm kind
think?
of just like, I feel like content creation is built around the idea of capturing content with a phone. I feel like if that person breaks out a camera when there's not a videographer there, I feel like, all right, how is your portfolio being represented?
Right.
Like, are you using something you shot with a camera to kind of like be representative of what was shot, what's it called, on a phone sort of
Yeah.
thing. So I guess in that sense, it doesn't really make sense to kind of like mix the two. I feel like it's probably just ideal for content creation to kind of like stay in the medium of a phone because it just helps you differentiate.
Right. I agree with that.
can
I don't,
see
I don't think I would ever like add on anything else besides my phone.
I
But
think some people it gets sketchy because I've seen some videographers will like take a Polaroid photo with the couple, things like that. And sometimes the photographer doesn't like that. Then it's like one Polaroid photo. So it's kind of like not a big
I'm like,
deal.
who cares? It's a
yeah,
freaking
at this point,
Polaroid,
who cares?
people.
We're all
Come
there
on.
for a job.
Yeah.
Like we just want to make the couple happy.
And I guess
Yeah.
to clarify, it's like I don't care because even if, a content creator whipped out a little DSLR camera or something, like I know, like I'm confident enough in my skills that
Yeah.
I know whatever I'm capturing is going to come out better than whatever they're capturing.
Yeah.
And I know my end product is going to be better and different than whatever they're doing on their little DSLR.
Yep.
So that's another thing that just makes me just not care
Yeah,
that much.
you're like confident in your own work. So, I mean,
like nothing they
that's good.
do will affect me. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
Times where
like
it's
that.
gotten interesting is where we've seen other vendors bringing cameras. So I've seen florists
yes.
bring cameras to take photos of
That's
their
an
floral
issue.
designs. And
Gotcha.
like sometimes floral companies will hire, photo video companies to take imagery of
Yep.
their arrangements.
like
and
setting
then-
up and
and
behind
then
the
those
scenes
people
of
will
that.
be out of there
That's
before the
totally
wedding
fine.
even
Right.
starts. But we've had like a florist taking photos of like their flowers and then they stay.
She was
No.
in the
Taking stuff.
aisle
No,
during
you
the
can't do
ceremony.
that.
I was like, the florist with her own little camera
You
is
can't
in
do
the
that.
aisle with us. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. It's like once
That's
they
crazy.
start doing stuff of the couple, that's kind of where it's like, all right, like now you're in our way. And since they're not like a trained content creator or videographer, photographer, they don't really know how
To
everybody
maneuver
moves.
that. Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like I cared the content she was getting. It was just she was physically in
Yeah.
my way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm backing up and I'm like about to hit her.
Yeah.
So it's like there's too many people here.
Yeah.
You do not need to be here and
That's
should not
tricky.
be here.
That's very
It's a
tricky.
very narrow aisle. There's 2 or 3 of us already. Like,
Yeah. What do you guys think though of like, I know some wedding vendors now are hiring content creators to capture like their own behind the scenes What do you guys think of that? Or like, have you like ran into that?
From the vendor or
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
venue? Sorry.
The venue. So basically any wedding vendor can hire a content creator.
okay.
So like if I've actually done BTS for like a photographer, a wedding planner, like people
Floral
like
lighting,
that.
that stuff.
Well, we have brought our own behind the scenes person before.
Yeah, but so the thing, I mean, we also just marketed that as kind of like they were part of our team, and
Yeah.
they were shooting behind the scenes for us. She also helped us grab some shots on the day, and we made sure everybody in the media team planner knew that they were there. We told the couple, we're like, hey, let us know if this is okay. And we'll probably do it a couple other times because we get behind the scenes.
It's valuable for us.
Yeah.
So
I definitely do think
so
it's
I
valuable.
see it as valuable for anyone else who wants
Yeah.
to do it. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
The key
Okay,
is everybody needs to be briefed, and then
Yes.
that person who's shooting behind the scenes, if they're dedicated to shooting behind the scenes, they should stick to that.
They need to stick with that. Yeah. They need to
instead
stay
of-
in their
yeah,
lane.
and just make sure they're not getting in the way of stuff with the couple,
Yeah.
It's like
and maybe they're
totally
not shooting
agree.
the couple. Sort of
open
thing.
communication. There was one, I think it might have been early last year. The band, the DJ guy brought his own little camera dude, and it was fine. And he told me like, I'm just here for like filming the DJ setting up and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'll get some hype dancing later on. And he told me I'm gonna stay out of your way though. Like we're good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, appreciate it. Like as long as you actually do that, we're fine. And he was.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. There you
There's
go.
one that got in a few of our shots though. Probably a different one.
Yeah, probably different.
I think
that
it's
happens
just
a
like
lot, though.
open communication. Like you just have to be communicative and like stay in your lane. Like do what you were brought to for that job.
Right.
Yeah. Don't get in people's way. I've learned that.
I have another question about people interfering with filming, taking photos. So it must grind your gears even more than it grinds ours when somebody's filming on their phone during the ceremony or speeches, or mom or grandma standing in the corner with an iPad, just, filming whatever. Cause it's more direct. I feel like it's more directly like related to the thing that you're doing. So like, I guess what happens in those scenarios?
I mean, it is, but at the same time, just like what you're saying, like I don't really care. Like I honestly think it's kind of cute when you see like, their grandparents just trying to record the couple on the phone. Like I think that's so sweet and endearing. Like I don't care. I will never tell anyone to like put their phones away. Like that's totally fine. People are here to try and get their own like memories of the couple as well. So like it doesn't really bother me. I could see how it would bother some people, but like I think it's fine. And in like the same sense, even just because you have a phone doesn't mean you're a content creator, So
So true.
yeah.
Preach.
Yeah.
I'll always tell the planner, be like, hey, maybe tell them to put it down. Because what gets me is when I'm like, we've had people where we're getting like a clear shot of somebody doing speeches, and then somebody goes like behind and like
Yeah,
brings
they're
their
just
phone
like,
out. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I hate that. Because at the same time, like the guests should be there to enjoy
Yes,
the
yeah.
weddings.
That's what
They should just enjoy.
That's the only thing that bothers me, actually. It's like, it ruins our shot a little bit, sure, yeah, whatever, but it's
Yeah.
like, why aren't you not enjoying
Yeah.
this?
The couple wants you to be present ultimately. So yeah, I agree.
That's awesome. Would you say you have any other, I guess, hot takes about the industry as a whole? It could be hot takes about content creation. I mean, we already kind of said it, like it could be a replacement for some videographers,
Yeah.
but
Well, I don't know if this is so much like, I don't even think this is a hot take. No, I just really want to get your opinion on this thing that I'm about to say. So I've worked with one photographer who, super nice, like nothing bad to say about her. The only thing is that she wouldn't let me shoot content during the couple's like portraits. Everything else she was fine with. And then just during the couple's portraits, she was like, no, I'm the one who's like, it can just be me like during this time. And I was like, okay, like I'm not going to argue with her. So I didn't like follow the couple during their portraits, but I feel like that's the most like vital time and like the best shots really of the day. So I don't know. I was just kind of like bummed about that. And I told the bride, beforehand just to make sure it was okay with the photographer. And it's kind of sticky situation there. But what do you guys think about that?
I mean, I'll say that we would never do that to you. You're always welcome to follow us to Sunset
well, yeah,
Portraits.
because I think back like years back when videography was like the new thing,
Yeah.
it's kind of like photographers would kind of, they were like, no, this is our time to pose. Like, don't take my poses sort of thing.
Right.
And it's like, guys, we're all doing different things.
Yeah, we're all doing different things to make the couple happy. We're all there for a reason. I don't know. I felt like weird coming out of that wedding, but
I can see it because like traditionally the photographer, sure, like is like the lead. Like if you say the creative team, the photographer, videographer, content creator, sure, you could say the photographer is probably the lead person in that group of three, but that doesn't mean they're the only ones that can capture certain things.
Yeah,
like we take turns, like, and we're fine sharing our poses. I don't care if you take a pose that we secret. Say. It's really not. It's not. Basic shit here, people. It's like walk that way, do some twirls, whatever. Like it's not rocket science.
That just blew my mind.
So yeah, like they can like be the lead, but we take turns. They can do their stuff. We can do our stuff. You can do your stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone leaves happy.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated.
Yeah. Like I would understand it a little bit more if like the couple's portraits were like inside and it was a tight space. I mean, even then I feel like we could like share, but it was literally like outside. I was like, I can literally just be there and shoot.
Yeah.
But.
Did you talk prior to like the couple about like, or guys do in general, talk to the couple about specific moments of the day you definitely will capture? Because then you could have leaned on that and like, oh no, like the couple wants me to get this. Like I need to be there.
Yes. I mean, I have that conversation with them now, like before the wedding, but I don't normally like talk to the vendors before the wedding. Like it's usually like I meet them for the first time on the wedding day. And I just like the photographer told me no, and I kind of just didn't say anything after that. So I don't know. I might have been able to advocate for myself a little bit, but as a people pleaser, I'm just like, that's okay. Yeah.
I feel like because we're at a place, if a photographer ever did that to us now, we'd be like, no, I'm like, we have to kind of capture these things. And I'm like, trust me, we'll work around you. We'll let you know when we're ready to cut in. We can get shots at the same time you're getting shots. So if it's like, if it's a timeline thing, we can work next to you. We'll shoot over you, under you, next to you, that sort of thing. We won't step in front of you. Yeah, like I don't think there's really an excuse for it anymore. It's like we can take turns or we can shoot next to each other.
And we're always the ones to compromise. Like
right.
If the photographer needs to be in a certain position to get a certain shot, they can be there. We will be the ones to work around them. We won't make them move around us. We'll be the ones in awkward positions.
Yeah, right.
We only have like one.
That was weird.
One thing where we're like, this is the way we need to. So
there's one time that we actually take control of the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what?
Yeah, our first looks are like our thing that we try to take control of the most, because what we've seen in the past, we've seen a lot of photographers step in too early and the moment's not over. Mm-hmm. So we're like, hey, do you mind if we can just have the couple have their moment and then just look to us when they're ready to like do portraits or whatever. And like anytime we do that, it's like so much more organic of a moment. The couple feels more relaxed and then they're ready to go do portraits and we have a great time, and most photographers are fine with it. I've had a couple who just kind of go in anyway and we're like, oh, all right.
Because like they care about the timeline. They're the ones really building out this timeline. So in their heads,
there's a lot of pressure.
They want to keep it going more than we would care, I guess. So first looks could be 2 seconds or like 15, 20 minutes. So we like to let them just play out however long they would naturally play out. If that ends up cutting into the timeline, so be it.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, I think one thing too, like I wouldn't want somebody's big day to feel like a whole production. Like I feel like people just need to enjoy their wedding day as it is. It's not a photo shoot. It's not a content shoot. It's literally your wedding day. So in that sense too, I also get how having a lot of like media vendors would feel like a big like content shoot or photo shoot or huge production. Especially if like a photographer is trying to keep the timeline, which to a degree, like they kind of have to, but yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. And even when we do some of those stuff, we try to make it fun and not just poses.
Right.
More so prompts, have them do things. Usually gets them to laugh. Some of the things we do, it's like, this is ridiculous, but then they end up just like chuckling.
But it looks cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. This is a funny question. Do you know, so we know some content creators who bring out their DSLRs. Do you know any that shoot on Android?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. Nope. I don't know a single one.
Says a lot.
Do you guys know any?
No.
Yeah.
I am a
just
Apple
something I was
fanboy,
wondering.
so
Yeah. Nope, nothing.
that's funny.
No Samsung Galaxy. I heard a story
iPad.
somewhere that it was like this content creator guy who was like trying to do it, but clearly he was like, I guess, a videographer who was trying to just capitalize on this new thing.
Right.
He had
Yeah.
a Samsung Galaxy. It's
Oh
like
my
no hate
God.
on Samsung Galaxy, but
No
I feel like it
hate.
just doesn't like.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know.
It's just
It doesn't
iPhones are more
translate.
popular and like look better on social media, I think. Like it's more
because it's optimized for that.
Yes, yeah.
I'm sure you can get a better
Androids, I don't
camera
know.
on some of these Android phones.
Also,
but
do you
it's
ever
like,
airdrop things like day of, like super quick, maybe like 1 or 2 just here?
Yeah, I do.
So that-
It was very hard first starting off my business. I didn't know how to deliver these products, like all the photos and videos. So
How do you deliver?
now I use Google Photos and I think it's great. Like I have no issues with it, no problems with it. I have tried like Dropbox. I've tried just airdropping. Airdropping is not gonna work.
For hundreds or thousands,
much, yeah.
way
Not
too much,
gonna work. Yeah. I've tried like shared albums on the phone on the
Okay,
iPhone.
yeah.
That also sometimes doesn't work. But yeah, I find that Google Photos is the best. I know some other content creators use Google Photos or Dropbox. I think those are the two like big ones. But
yeah, Google Photos is definitely user friendly.
Yeah.
It's more friendly than Google Drive.
yeah. Oh,
downloading.
I also tried Google Drive, and then I was like, this is stupid. Why don't I just do Google Photos because it makes more sense?
Google Drive is like we send stuff through that. Not wedding stuff. Our wedding stuff we have like a separate website
Yeah.
for. But like other commercial client stuff, we use Google Drive a lot because just businesses use that. But it's like clunkier on mobile
Yeah.
than Google Photos. So yeah, no, Google Photos is nice. I don't know
Google
why I didn't
Photos.
think of that before. I thought it was just Google Drive, Dropbox, but
I know. I was in the same boat. That's why I started using Google Drive, and I was like, this is so stupid. What am I doing?
or maybe there's an app out there that's like specific for this. There's
I wouldn't
probably
be
is.
surprised if
I
they're
wouldn't be
making stuff.
surprised.
Yeah.
And it's probably more expensive than free Google Photos.
Unfortunately, yes.
Wedding tax.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh,
Have you guys ever worked or had a bad experience with a content creator? Or do you guys have any weddings coming up with content creators that you know
So
of?
the only ones we've ever shot was with you and your
Great.
team member.
you and
so-
Amber, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the one we shot with Amber, the bride asked us like, "Hey, have you guys worked with content creators before? Are you guys okay with it?" Because like she figured like we would be like, "No content creator."
Yeah, yeah.
And we were like, "Yeah, sure, bring them on." And like we recommend Married and Social. She's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go with them." I'm like,
Perfect.
she's like,
great.
I already was talking with them, and I'm like, "Sweet, cool, that worked out well."
Yeah. And Amber is great. Like my associates, I have nothing but great things to say about them. They're amazing people. So yeah, I love them.
Do we have any this year that have content creators? I forget. Or that we know
Maybe.
of?
Not, I mean, none that I know of.
They might fill us in later,
Probably.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have been noticing too, like, I feel like the content creators are kind of like the last minute addition to their weddings. Like I just booked a wedding like last week for an April wedding and a May wedding. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
very, very last minute too. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I have another question. I don't know if you've ever used these platforms. Are you familiar with The Knot and Wedding Wire, and do you have a storefront on there?
I am familiar with those and I do not. I like to each their own, but I don't think it's that valuable, especially for the people that I'm catering towards. Because I feel like, I don't know, this could just be me, but like my generation just finds everything through social media nowadays. Like when I was planning my wedding, again, I said my wedding was in Colorado. I found all my wedding vendors through Instagram. Like I did not search like on Google or anything. It was all through Instagram. So I don't think it's as important for me to do that right now. But what are your thoughts on it? Are you guys on The Knot or Wedding Wire or anything?
Funny
Well-
you say that.
We did a whole episode last week.
He has some very heated thoughts about this.
Okay, let's hear it.
So basically, it's like worth it and not worth it at the same time. It helps a little bit with like SEO just because your name's in more places, because people will look for us on Google and things like that. And we have gotten business from it before, but like this past year, we've just gotten like leads that just aren't qualified, or they like clearly haven't done any research on us, and it's a very like kind of clunky platform. I feel like just the quality of leads that we get through it almost isn't worth the price tag, but it just barely kind of outpaces it a little bit. So it's still enough to keep it for now. But we're always kind of like looking at it. I think there's a lot of vendors who are like, the not to scam, like it's way too expensive for what it is. I'm not getting any business. And then there's others that are like, I'm getting so much business from it. But so we're kind of like in the middle.
Are you guys on both?
Well,
yeah, because they're like kind of tied together.
Platform thing now.
We're not on Zola. I've heard terrible
You're not
things about
missing
Zola.
anything for not being on it. I'll say that.
Great.
It's very expensive.
Yeah. I don't see myself doing that. But with that being said, have you guys done any like bridal shows or like those like convention
like an expo
things?
type
Like
thing?
yeah, an
No,
expo.
we haven't.
I get emails for those every single day.
Me too.
And
And I
like,
have.
I'm like, I'm all
I
set.
don't think I'm gonna do one. Yeah.
I asked a few couples too. I'm like, did you guys ever go to any of these things? They're like, yeah, we didn't hire anybody from it. I'm like, that's what I thought. It's probably good for floral, I would imagine, because you can see the thing in real life.
Yeah, you
Maybe
can actually like
planners.
showcase your
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
Things
like-
like that. Like
We have like an
Everything's digital.
iPad with our stuff showing or something. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to translate that well.
Yeah. I have better
Yeah.
things to do than go sit in a booth in a mall for like.
no, I agree so much. I
a few
agree.
hours.
I guess
Yeah.
that being said, how do you typically get your clients then? Like, do you have
Social
any
media.
sort of marketing outside of social media, or is that really just it?
Mostly social media. A lot of word of mouth.
Okay,
I
yeah.
feel like I have a lot of like most of my clients are bridesmaids or couples that were like in the bridal party.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, I mean, like everyone around my age is getting married too. So like all my friends are getting married. So it's a good time to be in this business for me. It's great. But yeah, I would say mostly word of mouth. I am close to like a bunch of photographers who always refer out to me. So I'm grateful for that. Actually, one of my brides recently but called in the radio station Kiss 108, and I literally didn't know people still listen to the radio.
No, honestly,
I don't listen to the radio.
In so long.
Yeah, but she was talking about content, like hiring me as a content creator and having that be like one of the best decisions.
That's
and
cool.
It was really cool,
Nice.
and I got so many inquiries from that.
Nice.
So that was
we should
nice.
be- we should
And
get
I'm
ourselves
Get on the radio.
I
This is our
know.
version of a radio show.
I
Kinda.
literally didn't know people still listen to the radio. I don't remember the last time I put it on, but that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I had one other question for you, but I completely forgot it. Oh no, I remember
Okay.
what it is now. So you mentioned like all your friends are getting married and stuff. Do things ever get hairy when you're kind of
was thinking
like
that too.
working as a vendor at your friend's wedding?
Or do you even
Or
take on
family
your
weddings.
friends' weddings? Or do you have a policy of I'm not going to shoot friends' weddings?
No. Well, you guys just asked me a billion questions, and I just said no.
just
But
like, no.
I actually haven't done a wedding for just like a mutual friend. It's either like somebody that I'm like super, super close to, that like my cousin. But yeah, I haven't really run into that issue a lot yet, so I don't have much to say about that. But I would be down to shoot it. So I guess the thing is, like, if I was a guest at that wedding, I don't think I would want to be working. I would offer it up to like my associates or someone if they wanted to do it, and I'd still be at that wedding. I don't think personally I would do a wedding for a couple that I'm like actually friends with and invited as a guest. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because we
have you guys had that experience?
So, I mean, we've done a couple of things that were like friend things, but if it's like, so there's been a scenario where like somebody in my family was getting married, but I went as a guest and like Nick kind of like handled the stuff with another
So I
shooter,
had no like
Yeah.
personal relation to this person. So to me, it was pretty normal.
Yeah.
which
okay.
helps too, because if you're a vendor, one, you want to enjoy the wedding and you want to be a guest and be present, things like
Right.
that. But if you're a vendor at that wedding and it's like a friend or a family member, they may not intentionally take advantage of you, but they might just feel like they can ask extra things of you because
Yeah,
like,
'cause
hey,
you're a
we're-
friend.
we're
Yeah.
friends,
And we
we're
would say
family,
yes
you know?
because we're
Because you
close
guys
with
are
them. But
friends.
in reality, if it was anyone else, we would be saying no to these things.
Yeah,
And most
I
of the
get
time
that.
it's probably people don't have bad intentions by doing that. They just think it's kind of like, hey, help a friend out sort of thing.
Right.
When
And
in
people
reality,
get married.
yeah.
I mean, most people only get married once in their life, so it's not like they do this regularly,
Yeah.
so they
Right.
don't know. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I hope. I mean, I would be down to do a friend's wedding. I don't think it's happened yet, so maybe. Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you have any other final questions for us here? You've had some good questions for us.
Thanks. What would you say to a couple who comes to you and are like, I can't choose whether I want a content creator or a wedding videographer? Like, what kind of advice or like, what would you tell them?
I would answer with a question. I would say, what's important to you that you get out of it? Do you just want the completely raw moments and nothing else? Or do you want a cinematic experience? Or do you want both? Because if you want both, then you need both. But if you want one thing or the other, then that would kind of like sway the direction I would direct them in, sort of thing. If you want the raw, authentic stuff, it's like definitely just kind of like go that content creator route. I mean, some of the things we do too, like we can give the ceremony in full, the speeches and things like that. Like we don't just have the highlight film.
Is that like included for all of your packages, like the full
ceremony? Speeches is in our top one, and then we have add-ons for things like first dance, first look,
parent dances.
Like that. Gotcha.
So we capture everything regardless.
Yeah.
It's just what we deliver depends on the package.
And all of those moments will appear in the highlight film anyway. So it's like if they want those things in full, then sweet, they can go with that. But I know some people who hire content creators, like we got the question once. It's like, hey, are you guys like recording the full speeches? Should I tell my content creator to do that? I'm like, no, we got it. Don't worry. Like,
yeah. I will say too, like shooting weddings that don't have a videographer, I kind of like have to step in and play that videographer role too. Just because like, obviously that's kind of the only form of video that they're getting. So I will ask them like, you don't have a videographer. Do you want me to record this speech in full, your vows in full, things like that? Because I mean, that's kind of the only form of video that they're getting.
Yeah.
And then also I've worked with other videographers who don't do that, who like don't record things in full too. So I'll still always offer that.
Which seems crazy to me. I don't think I'd ever.
I mean, I think I agree. Yeah, it's
we're
kind
a
of
little
crazy.
different than that, but yeah, we pretty much record everything.
Yeah. All the in-between moments, we're starting, stopping, things like that. But all the formalities, that stuff is recorded in full. And I feel like the bigger thing for us is audio.
Yeah.
It's kind of like plugging into the DJ boards, coordinating those things. It's kind of like, do you want your speeches in full? You want them to kind of like, if you want them to kind of like sound like they were in that space, then like you could probably get away with content creation. But if you're like, hey, I don't want to be distracted by the echoes and things like that, then
do you ever attach a little microphone to your phone?
I don't. I know a lot of content creators do, and I was actually kind of going back and forth, and it's still always like an idea in my mind of whether I want to invest in like just a phone microphone. But I don't think for now I want to, just because like I want to market myself as I only record everything from my phone. So audio, like if it's windy, that's how it is. Like it's just what is happening naturally.
I like that.
But I know some content creators do. They have like their own microphones and they use it, and the quality's like the audio quality is really great. But I don't know. I'm still kind of going back and forth on that. But right now, just I record everything on my iPhone. I have like an external light if I ever need it. Usually it's just for like the reception and like dancing portion of the night, but everything else is kind of just as is.
And I don't think you guys had one, maybe you did. Do you guys have like a little handheld phone gimbal? So I see that sometimes.
I do.
Okay. How helpful is that?
Not helpful.
I don't know if it was like,
So, I have invested in like the DJI Osmo, I don't even know what it's called. And I don't know, well, I do know. I just am not patient with it, and it's a learning curve, and I didn't like it, and I just felt like I was not recording what I wanted to record. Like I don't like the tracking of it. It's really just me not putting in time to learn it. But I think I'm pretty like stable with my movements, and it's not like super shaky or anything. So I'm pretty confident just like recording just with my like hand, which some content creators don't, and like that's totally fine. But I have like, it's really like gimmicky. It's like it doesn't have any movement or anything, but I just have like this thing that I hold on to. And I think that helps too. But like half of it is just for show, just so that I can differentiate between like just a regular guest. Because I don't know how much it actually does help me. But I'm pretty confident in my like abilities to like not make it all shaky, especially because I do like food blogging too, and it's pretty But I mean, down the road, I think I would want to try again and see if I can manage the gimbals and stuff. But
Yeah, no, that was such a good point. Like distinguishing yourself from
Yeah.
other guests. Like,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, because I forget, like, if you're just kind of like holding it up versus like you have a handle sort of thing. It's
Right.
like
Because like everyone's
It's like
everyone has a
holding it up.
phone.
vendor,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It makes the
yeah,
distinction.
especially at like a wedding where everyone's wearing black. I'm like, well, I don't know who I am now. Yeah. But
That's funny.
sometimes it's nice to like just be incognito though, because then I can get all the like guests' reactions or interactions and stuff, and
Yeah.
they don't know that I'm there, and I'm just being a creep.
Yeah. I'll try to be recording things at cocktail hour and somebody will see
As
me
soon
and
as
just
they
make like
see
a,
us.
I
yeah.
know, yeah.
like, oh.
Especially with you guys with like your big cameras.
Yeah.
I know.
And then
it's-
they just clam up.
It's hard to be incognito. We have to be like far away and like, oh, I hope they don't see us. And then as
Yeah.
soon as they do, like,
Yeah. I mean, I've seen so many videos on like Instagram and TikTok too of wedding videographers like trying to get their shot and people are dancing, and as soon as like they see the camera, they like smile and pose for a photo, and you're like, no, we're video, keep going.
yeah, that
The
happens a
gimbals
lot.
are for.
Yeah.
Like you would think the guests could understand that us holding this big ass thing versus the photographer just holding their camera.
No.
It's the video, not the photo, but apparently not.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like we
they
clearly
don't.
don't have a flash. Like
Yeah.
the photographer has a flash. Like, come on.
They're just like posing, waiting for you to like take their photo, and you're like, yep.
I think I might have said this before, but sometimes I just pretend like they'll like be like, "Oh, take our photo," and I'm like just holding up my big gimbal, like, "Got it."
Yep. You're like, you're good.
Sometimes your camera's off, like
Yeah.
screen's black.
Literally, it's just off, and I'm
The
like,
Sometimes I'll
lenses-
record,
lenses on.
sometimes it'll literally be off.
I'm like,
not
"Yep,
even
got
kidding.
it, everyone. You're good."
Oh my God. Yeah. How would they know?
Exactly. They're not,
Whatever.
I'm not gonna send this to them. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not the photographer.
That's funny. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So like overall, do you think content creators, good thing, bad thing?
I think
Good
What are
thing.
your thoughts?
good
Okay.
thing for sure.
Cool.
Good
Yeah,
thing.
like that.
it's
Needed.
different. It's, I mean, other people disagree, but it doesn't get in our way.
Yeah.
We don't mind it. It's a
Yeah.
cool add-on for the couples. Like,
It's in
just-
demand.
Yeah.
If it's in demand, then it's here to stay.
Definitely. Cool. I like that.
Do you have any kind of like, what are your big goals with your business? Where do you kind of like see yourself going this year and then the next few years?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to, reach a place where I can quit my other job and pursue this full time. I really want to expand, meaning like I want to grow my team, but also potentially move on to like other states not in New England. Yeah, and I really want to do like a destination
Yeah,
wedding. I
get that
think that'd be cool.
destination in.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Well, next
pretty
time we
much
go to
it.
Mexico, we'll be sure to refer you guys.
Yeah, anyone who's watching, going to a destination wedding, please hire all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to go. We'll make it a good time.
Oh
Yeah.
man, awesome. Well, thanks again for coming.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Lots of valuable insight. Some things I thought I knew that were kind of like changed, but like, yeah, really great stuff. Really insightful.
Thank
I mean,
you.
if you guys found it insightful, obviously just leave a like on YouTube. Give
Oh,
us
yeah,
a 5
before
star.
we do that,
Oh.
where can the people
Oh
find
yes.
you?
Oh,
Before the outro here.
so I'm married and social on everything. So Instagram and TikTok. And then if you want to follow my food blog, it's Real Good Bites, and it's real like an Instagram reel. So REEL, Real Good Bites. Also on
Catchy.
Instagram and TikTok. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it. Love it. Yeah.
Now go
Okay.
ahead.
Now time for our place. Oh man. Where was I? Like on YouTube, 5-star review on Spotify. You guys know the drill now. Just follow us everywhere. Instagram at SeaMount Weddings. And if you're looking to book a wedding for yourself, it's SeaMountWeddings.com. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.